Chanel. Blue de Chanel. Oh, shoot. Gosh dang it. Scent of the day. Jeez, Joel. I long for the day, Joel, when you post your scent of the day and I know what it is. Like, you look at all the fragrances. You know what it is? It's because you're from freaking Canada. That's why. You chase after a whole different type of you didn't grow up in the same fragrance world as me. But that's a good thing. We both grow. Mike, what up? Good to see you. Hey, Joel, man, when are you going to come back to the stream, man? We got to do something else. So we broke the ice, you know, we broke the honeymoon phase with a nice little, you know, top list. Now maybe we can do, well, you like to think. You like to have time to prepare. So maybe we can do 21 questions. That'll be awesome. Because there's still some element of surprise there, but you don't have to think about anything you don't know. That'd be cool. 21 questions with Joel. I think I could come up with a great show around that. Yes, I am the King Le Parfum. What is that, Mike? Who makes that? What up, what up, what up, what up? There's that dang label. I was looking for that. I realized I need that. Oh! I can't, man. Can't stop, won't stop. I need to make labels for these. Gabrielle. Amorous. Okay. Where's my label maker? Where's my label maker, bro? Feel free to ask your questions away. It's good to see all y'all, man. There's no maker, but it's basically Bleu de Chanel, but darker and sweeter on Fragrantica if you want to look at the notes. Hey, I trust you. Yeah, man, good to see you. Good to see you, Wayne. Always good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by, bro. What's your scent of the day? Stronger with you is good. I mean, I think with that DNA, I much prefer the Intensely over the original, but they're both fantastic. Women love it. And it's one of the vanillic spiced fragrances where the nuance with it that makes it special versus a lot of the other stuff is the nutmeg. So it's got the vanillic spice and nuttiness, but I prefer the Intensely over the original. Do you have Blue Jeans Man by Versace? I don't recall it being called Blue Jeans Man, but I do have Blue Jeans. What's the new stuff on the top shelf? Should I tell you guys? See, I can't reveal too much because a lot of stuff I'm kind of giving out like clues for you guys to figure out. But let's just say, how can I tease this? So let me give you guys a hint. Nobody has this juice. How about that for a hint? Nobody has it. And there's a reason why. And you guys will know what a lot of the stuff on the top of my shelf is in 2026. How about that? That's as much as I can give you. I'm rocking Oud Wood layered with Terre de Hermes Parfum version. Woody, green, orange, grapefruit. I don't think you can go wrong with that combo. That sounds fantastic. Matter of fact, can I make that real quick? I can, said the blind man. Let's whip that up. Let's see. Let me get my head in the game with what Wayne's smelling like today. There we go. Gosh, Terre de Hermes is so good. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, nice. You know what? Somewhat serious, but super bright and fresh. Mature backbone. Love it. I mean, I knew it would go together, but I wanted to smell it. Scent of the day, Ultra Mall. Beautiful, Mike. Good to see you. Lee, what up, bruh? What's poppin'? If you guys hear stuff in the background, I have live auctions going on in the background. So if you need me to turn it down, just let me know. Have you tried the Soprano line by Dumont? No, I haven't. I'm going to be real with you, Lee. SB has been in niche world, vintage world, and a little bit of designers. I did a designer run recently. Clones, the only stuff I've been putting my nose to on lately is the stuff that's coming out in 2026. I got my hands on a lot of new stuff you guys haven't seen yet. And so, you know, I haven't really been going back to some of the older stuff, you know, because I don't want to say I'm phased out of it. I really don't. It's just what's on the menu right now is like a lot of niche stuff that you guys haven't heard of, a lot of vintage stuff you haven't heard of, a lot of new clone releases that are coming out this year that no one has yet that I have. Just been running through that stuff. But if you think it's worth me getting into, you know, shoot me an email or something, link me up to the fragrance, and I'll definitely check it out. I am somebody who takes requests. So like a lot of people this month in December, actually not January. I realize we're in January now. Happy New Year, guys. But a lot of people in December hit me up like, yo, SB, I need a review on such and such. I need you to check out this and that. So if you think that Dumont line is the truth, shoot me some links and I'll definitely get some stuff to check out. Why does the internet judge people? Internet judgment. Why does the internet judgment people? That's an interesting characterization. So basically, why do people hate Sauvage on the internet? They're bored of it, you know? I was just talking to Kix about this today. People believe in their minds. They don't realize they're doing this, but they believe in their minds that their journey in fragrance is like a single line progression. You're at point A and your journey is going through to point Z. And so what happens is you get in the middle of your journey or you get progressed in your journey, and then you feel like when you see other people in the community, it's like looking back or looking forward. So you'll be like, I'm on letter M in my journey, and that guy, based off what it looks like, is on letter V. And then those guys over there are still on letter C. And the reason we think that way is because without realizing it, we get in this way about our journey where we feel like everybody starts and ends the journey in the same place. Like, when I mature in fragrance, I'm only gonna like niche. And if people aren't fancying niche and are still buying clones, they're somewhere earlier in the journey than me. And we start to like internally operate like that, in where we group and categorize people and stuff, and it's really unhealthy. Instead of looking at it like, I was telling Kix, you know, being in fragrance is like being in an open field. Any direction is progress, because when you get dropped in the middle of a field, any direction can lead to discovery. So there's no real like start and end in terms of progress. Any investigation is progress. Even if you circle back to a place in your journey, there's more to discover. And I think that's what's lost in FragCom right now, is everybody feels like they've arrived at some place and that they're going to some place, and they think they've figured stuff out. And I'm just not that big on that type of movement. But that speech is why I think people hate on Sauvage. They think they figured it out. They're bored of it. They're tired of people mentioning it. They want their journey to feel more evolved and developed. And the idea of giving any type of homage or respect to Sauvage feels beginner mode. And so that's why I think a lot of the hate is, you know, like that. Let me catch up here, guys. Give me a quick second. By the way, your recent video reminded me that I have a 5 ounce of Midnight Hour waiting to be sold and traded. Beautiful. Have you smelled MFK Amorous? Yeah, I actually have it right here. And the reason I was smelling it is because I have a formulation and I was comparing the two. So yes, I do have Amorous in a 30 mil to 15, 20 mil. I don't feel the need to have a full bottle of Amorous living in Arizona, but I love it. I prefer the Extrait. I think when you get Amorous Ohm, it underperforms and you wish you had more of it. Amorous Extrait has the punch, you know, 4 or 5 sprays last forever. Really good fragrance. Went on a fragrance hunt. I got Le Male Le Parfum, Ultra Male, Kingdom, Mazzaro Most Wanted Intensely. Any other recommendations for manly sweet? I have Gucci Guilty Elixir. Good, good, good. Are you looking in like designer or niche? Like, what particular category are you looking in? How's my son? Both my sons are good. What would be a good layer with straight bergamot? Citrus. So you can go a lot of ways with that. You can make it brighter. You can brighten the citrus. You can darken the citrus. You can put woods under the citrus. You'd be surprised how well vanilla-based fragrances work with citrus. They kind of make this fizzy, soda-y, baccarat-ish instant crushness. You can counter or complement citruses with fruits. You can it depends. Like it's less about what fragrance goes well with the notes, and it's more about what is the tone you want to try to shoot for with a layer. Because like I might have a fragrance that I could spin 5 different ways. So I guess the first step is just asking, like, with just bergamot right now, do you want it more mature? Do you want it more juvenile? Do you want it brighter? Do you want it toned down? Do you feel like it's missing something and you want to add something completely different? Do you think it's a really good fragrance on its own and you just want to accent it? You approach it from that standpoint, and then you don't really have to think of what notes pair together. You can just look at your fragrances and say, oh, that would fulfill that need. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that's helpful. But yeah, I mean, citruses, I could go any direction. I could add fruits to it. I could add vanilla to it. I can go woody, smoky. I can put texture to it by spicing it out, or you can put aquatics behind it to give it this kind of more sparkling push. I mean, there's a lot of bergamot pretty much is in every fragrance. So, and it's used a lot of times not to evoke the scent of bergamot. It's used to lift the top notes of a fragrance. Hey, my grandpa passed recently. Beautiful. Sorry to hear about your grandpa. I like Dreamer Versace. I have a lot of fragrances. By the way, hold on. Why did nobody snipe him? Why did nobody snipe him? Here, let me do it. I haven't sniped anybody in a while. Bing, bing. Mink, 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 mink. Just blind bought Hawass Ice and Hawass Fire. I absolutely love Hawass for him. Will I be disappointed? You won't be disappointed, but you won't be excited either. You'll be like, oh, this is good. Try Bath and Body Works. Okay. Thanks for the recommendation, Rich. Same people who fake hate on Sauvage will tell you to buy Nautica Voyage. Hey, that'll preach, right? I agree. I mean, honestly, everybody's a walking contradiction in FragCom. Like, even in life, we all do things that contradict ourselves because we're growing and evolving and making mistakes, and we have successes and failures. So I don't harp on people for making mistakes or being hypocritical. I just think some people go from hypocritical to narcissistic, where they live in their own shadow and they just are an echo chamber to themselves, and they fashion this world around them where they're only right, and they have to advocate that to you, which gets annoying. So I try to navigate through that with not a lot of care. Eros Energy or Eros Flame? Both are of the same caliber to me, and I don't think either are bottle worthy. What up, Bo? Que onda? What's poppin'? Que lo que? I absolutely love Ultramile. I'm a freshy type of guy. Gucci Guilty Elixir and the Kingdom changed my perspective. Actually, you changed how I think about it. Hey, man. I just care that you went through some journey, man, and figured some stuff out. That's what matters. Let's see. Anytime. Love y'all too. What about the blue bottle? Maybe this? Acqua di Parma Fico di Amalfi. Fresh green fragrance with fresh fig, but it kind of has a Sicilian/European vibe. You feel like you're on a boat in Europe, you know, and you look off on the land. There's no buildings and stuff. It's just grass and windiness, and you got a basket of fruit while you're just on a boat sailing. Very like European. Feels like super, you know, you would think, man, I've smelled a fragrance that smells fruity and like a green and outdoorsy, but not like this. This is like naturally fancy European green and fig and airiness. It's light as hell, but it gets a lot of compliments, and this is something I spray myself with a lot, as you can tell. Fico di Amalfi, definitely not the best Acqua di Parma, but probably the most talked about from Acqua di Parma. You should definitely get your nose on it. If you like fragrances like Vintage Green 78 from Banana Republic, Dolce & Gabbana K, you know, Ferragamo Pour Homme, stuff like that, this is the final boss. What's your everyday carry smell? I wear a new fragrance every day. When you have this going on, you kind of don't really touch back on stuff. A couple things which I'll eventually make a video about that I've been wearing, like I've been trying to sneak in some extra wearings of. Aqua Allegoria Forte Neroli Vetiver from Guerlain. That's masterclass for me. Fougere Royale, masterclass for me. What else have I just been having to reach for? Desert Rain, Day 3. Trace Oros, Day 3. A lot of my vintage stuff. New West, Havana. Cacharel, Pour L'Homme. I've been rocking Midsummer's Dream a lot. But generally speaking, I wear a new fragrance every day. Roja, Oceania, Green Irish Tweed. Which one would you prefer? Irish Tweed for the performance, Oceania for the best scent. I really think if you like green Irish Tweed, you should go up to like somewhere between Castley, Greenlee, Lafayette, or Greenwich Village. Because I just feel green Irish Tweed is a really good scent, but it also is super safe. It's not signature. It's only signature because it's expensive, but compared to somebody else wearing something expensive, you smell generic. Top 5 green fragrances of all time, you know, that's really tough because I think there's 2 categories for green. I think you have the synthetic green apple green, and then you have the outdoor forest green. So I think you have to break it off into those 2 categories and then evaluate. Fougere Royale would be on my forest green side, no question. And then I would have to really think about a lot of green fragrances that I love in the niche category. A lot of them would be from Guerlain. A lot of them would be from Santa Maria. I don't want to look back at a lot of them would be from Roja, Givenchy, Balmain. And then in the vintage category, I'd have to throw a couple of vintage in the timeless green category. Then over here, with your synthetic candy green apples, you got your Nautica Voyage. And now again, these aren't my top fragrances. It's just fragrances I immediately think about. Green apple, you have Lacoste Red, you have Nautica Voyage, you have Coach Green, you have Spice Bomb Night Vision. You have Grenergy from Givenchy. A lot of you guys don't even know about that scent. You know, you have Balmain, Vent Vert. You have a lot of Tom Ford has some really good green scents that are discontinued. I know I'm missing some fragrances. Green isn't really a category that I navigate on the designer side very well. I mean, I can put together a top 5 list for you, but I'd have to actually look at my collection because I don't wear synthetic green apple greens a lot. Now, I will say this. I just recently picked up this really nice rendition of Greenlee, and it reminded me that I need to get back into kind of evaluating green scents. Even Greenwich Village, Lafayette Street, I would throw in the synthetic green apple category. You know, even Castley to an extent, Sedley to an extent, Bal de Freak to an extent, Hanuman from Boadicea the Victorious. There's a lot of fragrances. And then, I mean, Xerjoff has a lot of stuff. I think Neo Neo wouldn't really be classified as a candy green. It would be more on the niche green, natural green type of stuff. Either Neo or Kobe, I forget. But they have way more than that sits on the green. You have Italian Cypress, Tom Ford. There's a lot, bro. Do you like Paris Corner Celestial? Of course. I mean, it's one of the greatest clones of all time to me. A lot of people don't feel that way, and that's why I want to tell you that. But to me, Celestial smells better than Ganymede. To me, it's more mass appealing. Ganymede, the real thing, is a beautiful scent. Beautiful richness and depth and complexity, but for a lot of people in the everyday world, it's a little too elemental, it's a little too earthy, and it's a little bit harder to figure out. It can be really sharp to a lot of people. It isn't extrait, so a lot of people find that kind of mineralic suede violet leaf combo to be more pleasing on the nose and easy to understand with Amir Celestial. It's one of the rare cases where I'll advocate for a dupe over the original. But if you really, really love that composition, Ganymede is beautiful, and I do have it. I gifted him a Club de Nuit Peugeot and a Versace Dylan Blue. He absolutely loved them. Did I do well? Hey, listen, man, if he said you did well, then you did well. I mean, Peugeot is a beautiful, expensive luxury type of scent. Dylan Blue's an everyday dumb reach, so you kind of covered all of his bases. Anything I just named in that whole rant I just did is elite, except for some of the smaller designers, but those are still great. I recently smelled 1 Million Elixir. It's pretty good, but I think the Kingdom has it beat. Thoughts? I agree with that 100%. I don't think it has it crazy beat, but it is the better fragrance. I mean, some people really feel like Armaf Lionheart and Lattafa Kingdom have Lamal Elixir beat, and Halloween Man Shot beat, and Azaro Most Wanted beat. So, yeah, I don't think you're off there. What can I do to make mine last longer? It wears off after like an hour. You tell me which fragrance you're wearing, and then I'll tell you some more specific advice. But initially, what I would say is get into oils. You know, oils can kind of seal perfume to skin in theory. Get into oils, get into a scentless lotion, hydrate, drink water so that your skin can hold chemicals. Overspray. Layer, you know, if you have a weak fragrance, layer it. What was Lee's mix earlier? He had Tom Ford Oud Wood with the Parfum of Terre de Hermes. Terre de Hermes Parfum especially is a moderate to weak performing fragrance, but you put that next to Oud Wood and now you have a 6 to 8 hour fragrance. So layering could also be very good. The last cologne I bought in 2025 is Off on Supremacy Collector's Edition. What was yours for 2025? You know, it's kind of spooky. My last purchases last week that I got in the mail was a clone of Arabian's Tonka, a clone of Greenlee, a clone of Goldfield and Banks Indigenous Ginger, Ralph's Club Black Elixir, Spice Bomb Infrared, Dylan Blue EDT, La Nuit de l'Homme, Chergay from Serge Lutens, Ralph Lauren Safari, just got Prada Luna Rosa Ocean in today. That was a part of the last haul. And then all these up here, which I can't really speak on right now. Yeah, that's what I got just last week. So I think that technically ends the year off. Hermes green one, what about it? Valentino new scent. Elaborate on that, South. Does Blue Talisman lean unisex? Absolutely. I mean, I think it's perfectly unisex. It is a very... Blue Talisman is very much like... You know, obviously, it has a somewhat candied blue aquatic, light, airy, crisp feel, and then a distinct note of pear. The pear is very kind of candied pear, almost like you're having a gummy bear that's pear flavored on top of a kind of candied blue aquatic air. It's very light. In fact, a lot of people that wear this fragrance would say it super underperforms. I don't think it underperforms. I just think it has super weak projection. Like, you'll get a 1 foot, 2 foot scent bubble with this fragrance. It doesn't sillage, and it's kind of a fragrance where you should be indoors to really enjoy it. Now, if you're messing with the Talisman Extrait, whole different story, you know, because they really added a good 2 hours of performance with that rendition. It's got vanillin, it's got ambroxan, all that jazz. You know what they do. Anytime they extrait it, they're ambroxaning it out. Not always, but you know, they're not doing much to extrait it. But yeah, Blue Talisman is perfectly unisex in my opinion. It will wear on a woman well. It will wear on a man well. You won't. Blue Talisman is not a scent that makes you think about gender. Let me put it that way. So some scents are like that. Some scents you smell, you know, maybe you're smelling L'Instant de Guerlain's, you know, women's version, and you're smelling it and you're like, no, that smells like a women's fragrance right off the bat. Blue Talisman is a fragrance where you won't think about gender at all. You'll just spray it and be like, oh, a blue kind of pearish, aquatic-y, slightly synthetic, but really fancy smell, you know? So I think men and women can enjoy it equally and kind of give it a different vibe. 2 nights in a row kicks Yak Mob. Have you tried the new Prada Paradigm green bottle? It's I saw a battle versus Bleu de Chanel EDP in public. It was basically a tie. Well, the reason it was a tie is because Prada Paradigm's been done 100 times over, right? YSL myself, YSLY, Givenchy, Boise. You know, there's a lot of smells in that arena. So, of course, it would tie because Prada Paradigm is nothing new in the marketplace. And yes, I do have 6 ml of it. I got 3 samples, 3 2 ml samples of it. I already have done my Prada Paradigm review. I think I already dropped it, actually. Pretty sure I already dropped it. And if not, it's dropping within days. What did Genesis say before? Creed Vetiver, not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I do have it, but it's been reformulated to piss. Do you know of any Armani Code clones? Yes. I think it's Fragrance World has a fragrance called Harmony Code. Harmony with an H, Harmony Code. That one's a really good rendition. What is the best woodsy cologne for under 50 bucks? It depends, Vinny. I need to know your age. Speaking of Greenlee, what's up, SB? Oh, facts. Facts. What up, man? Hey, man, we rock some Ralph's Club around here. I don't do it a lot, but, you know, we'll pop out. Good to see you, Greenlee. Hey, man, we need to have you popping out more in 2026. What up, Casey? Good to hear you, brother. Maui Apple Teeny is a good apple scent. It is. I've heard a lot of talk about it. I haven't put my nose to it, but I've seen a lot of people purchase that fragrance on Whatnot. Creed Silver Mountain Water smells extremely fresh and it's very nice, but it lasts 2 hours on me. Is it really that weak? Yeah, I mean, I reviewed it and told you guys that. What was your worst blind buy? Lattafa Atlas was my worst blind buy. Okay, if you guys see me jump off the screen for half a second, it's because I'm bidding on some fragrances that I want that I'm getting for the low. Between Bleu de Chanel, Parfum, Imagination, Pacific Chill, Blue Talisman, Oceania, which one would you suggest? Planning to buy a fresh fragrance. Well, I mean, I'm going to lean towards the better performing one. Typically, those are pretty large price margins. Oceania and Blue Talisman are the best out of those, but they're going to perform the worst. The best performers there are going to be Pacific Chill, then Bleu de Chanel, then Imagination. Talisman and Oceania are going to feel the weakest, but they're the best. If you want to have something with longevity, I might actually encourage you to get the Bleu de Chanel EDP over the Parfum. The Parfum does smell better than the EDP. However, hold on, guys, I got a bid. Oh, okay, never mind. Bleu de Chanel Parfum does smell better, but it's going to lack performance. It's a mid-range jumper in the Parfum, but I'm going to want the performance because all the Bleu de Chanel smell great. In fact, I just recently, a month ago, reviewed the Bleu de Chanel EDT, which smells significantly different than the EDP and the Parfum in a great way. But at the end of the day, I settle on the EDP. Solely due to performance, not scent profile. But I tell you what, after reviewing Bleu de Chanel EDT, I might start rocking that a little bit because that has a whole different feel. It's less blue. Creed Vetiver is weak as hell, but I do have it. Hit that like button, guys. 3 dots right here or 3 dots right here. Hit that and then hit the like button after it drops down. It'll make sure that no trolls are in here. We'll only get people that are into fragrance and that have a life. Otherwise, they're getting sniped out by my mods. My mods are on deck and they are excited to snipe the trolls. I need an Arabic Armani code. Harmony Code Absolute. Top 3 all year round fragrance that perform in all 4 seasons. Well, These are not the best. It's just I feel like my collection is elite. Um, I don't buy stuff I'm not in love with. So any of these recommendations are great. They're not ranked or best in my collection. Honestly, I can make 5 different lists of this and they would all be great to me. But if I'm gonna pick year-round clones, uh, Latafa's, uh, is this Latafa? Kaaf. I'm just gonna say that. Kaaf. Year-round, massive longevity, massive compliment getter, simple fragrance, but super well done. This replaces Nautica Voyage, Hawas Ice, Invictus, Invictus Aqua, Invictus Platinum, anything like that. It's replacing it. Beast mode, lasts forever, super versatile. Um, Another year-round banger, the Imagination clone, Sahib Intense from Ardal Zafaran. Uh, Closest rendition to Imagination, in my opinion. Moderate performance, but year-round and signature scent worthy. Obviously, the Club de Nuit, Pre-Show. You have to have an Aventus for year-round. This is the best rendition of Absolute Aventus, which is my preferred. This is actually a banging year-round fragrance that's made my rotation quite a bit. This is like a mix between Baccarat Rouge 540 and Aventus Cologne. Believe it or not, this smells incredible. It feels like Aventus Cologne, but it's got a splash of some Baccarat on top of it. Amazing fragrance. This is Ajmal's Amaze. This is a banger. Y'all need to take a picture of this, and it's like super affordable. That Ajmal Amaze, I've heard of that fragrance for so long, and I was always like, whatever. Won it in an auction. So glad I did. That's year-round banger. Another one, Musk Therapy, right? So, Glorious Oud Royal Blanc from French Avenue. Yes, French Avenue. 10 out of 10 clone of Musk Therapy. Musk, slight vanilla, and white florals. Women love it. Women want him and men want to be him. Those are just some. Then when we go up to designers, year-round Mont Blanc Presence. Just keep it tall. The juice don't lie. You guys saw me do a memoir on this. I thought it was important to show people that there are some fragrances that are dirt cheap that I find to be masterpieces. This is one of them, the first fragrance Mont Blanc ever made, one of the most timeless ones. Year-round, no question. Lalique White and Black. Smells like Leighton but fresher and less medicinal. Year-round, no question. Ferragamo Bright Leather. Year-round banger. Doubles for a work semi-formal feel, but it's super bright and citrusy, so you can break it down to upscale casual. Year-round scent. Absolute banger. Lalique Lin Sumi. Second. Ties for first place for the best work scent, and it's one of the best green upscale casual fragrances of all time to me. What else is year-round designer? Bleu de Chanel. I'm not going to pull that out. Designer. Versace Eros. One of the best designers ever made. Gucci Guilty Elixir. One of the best designers ever made. Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. A-tier designer fragrance. This will replace... I just slapped myself in the freaking face. Somebody clip that. Yeah, Prada Luna Rossa Ocean, man, super slept on as just dumb reach, everyday utility. It functions kind of like a Born in Roma, but feels less boy toyish. And then in the niche, everyday wears in the niche. Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria Forte Nerolia Vetiver, that was a mouthful. Desert Rain from Day 3. Vetiver Sensuel from Mancera. Aqua Media Forte from Maison Francis Curtijan. Aqua de Parma Fico del Malfi. Harrods from Roja. Colonia Pura from Aqua de Parma. Blue Talisman. Year-round, every day. Flor Narcotique and Flor Narcotique straight from Ex Nihilo. Year-round wear. I mean, we could just do this forever, guys. What is the absolute best clone for Stronger With You Intensely? I don't know about absolute best clone, but pretty much all of the Stronger With You clones that I've seen match the fragrance at least 85%. So just look up Stronger With You Intensely clone. You're going to see about 4 or 5 of them. They're all going to be around 20, 30 bucks. They all do the job. But I would challenge you before you spend that 20 or 30 bucks to consider the following fragrances. Armaf, Club de Nuit, Intense, or sorry, Club de Nuit Man. It's not Intense Man. It's just Club de Nuit Original. Amir, Paris Corner, Fire Your Desire. There's one more I was thinking about. And Halloween Man Shot. Because for the same price, you can get those, and those beat it out with the same vibe. What is Hedione and why is it in everything? It is a compound that's used in perfumery. I want to say it increases longevity, but I'm not a chemist. I just know that it's a compound that's added to perfumery, but I can't really tell you what it does because I'm not a perfumer and I'm not a chemist. What is the best woody cologne for a 16-year-old? Okay, so for woods, we're going to go super light. You're young, you're broke. What do we get that's cheap, woody, and fantastic? Give me a minute. It's rare that I recommend stuff to 16-year-olds. I think as a 16-year-old, going for a dominantly woody fragrance is not the place. So I'm going to give you some like light woodsy style fragrances that have basically a good woody backbone. Yeah. So let's go with this. So FOMO Fragheads Asylum, 30, 40 bucks, 100 mil. It's cloning Elysium. Elysium is a bright, radiant grapefruit, lemon, lime, orange, citrus basket up top with nice, rich amber and vetiver in the base. And so the vetiver and amber in the base make this nice, fresh, woodsy base to the citric profile. It feels expensive. It's super versatile, super high compliment factor. It can go toe-to-toe with your Eroses and your Dylan Blues and your Armani Codes and your Sauvages and all that, but it smells a lot more luxury, a lot more expensive. Women like this fragrance a lot more, at least the original Elysium. Bangin' scent with a light woodsy undertone. Another one, Lalique Equus, $20 for 100 mil. The dent doesn't lie. This is very simple. Grapefruit up top, amber in the middle, and vetiver in the base. The vetiver acts like a soft, woody character under it that just gives it some weight, but it's got a sparkling, this is a sparkling woody amber, and this is great everyday wear year round. Both of these fragrances are special, 20 bucks, 30, 40 bucks. Those will be great for you. Another one, shoot, that I've been sleeping on is Armaf Hunter. You know, the Sauvage hybrid. That's a beautiful woody fragrance. Armaf Hunter, you can get that for 10 to 20 bucks today. It's basically Sauvage with a little bit of a twist. Nice woody base in it. Another one is Fragrance World's Suave Parfum. Really good stuff. I would lean towards Armaf Hunter. Probably one of the easiest fragrances for you to get. You can get it on Amazon and have it tomorrow. When layering, is it good to overlay or separate the fragrances when applying? I got this answer straight from Michael Paul from Day 3 Fragrances. Never stack fragrances. Never mix a vial of fragrances together and then spray them. Basically, the way the compositions work is you have a lot of bonding and mixing going on with fragrances, and it takes a long time for companies to dial in formulations. and they're not meant to be broken apart in terms of the molecules. When you spray two fragrances on top of each other, it starts undoing things in the formulation and you get something else. Now, you can layer on top of each other all you want and maybe get a good smell, but on a chemistry level, it's breaking up the fragrance and making it smell like something it's not, and it's messing up the composition. Same thing where when you spray a fragrance on your skin and you rub it like this, you're completely destroying the fragrance, and you're adding your own skin oils into the fragrance, and you're making it not smell truly like what the perfumer designed it to smell like, which was just to be applied on skin and not manipulated. So when it comes to layering, the best thing you can do is put two fragrances side by side, let them waft in the air together and connect, but do not layer fragrances on top of each other. A lot of people do that and they smell good and they think they smell great, but you're really diluting down and messing up a fragrance from getting to its highest potential. So let's say if you were to mix Aventus and Baccarat, yeah, you could spray Aventus and Baccarat on top of each other. By the way, if there's 40 people in here and 32 people right here, y'all need to be hitting these 3 dots and hitting that like button so we can snipe all the trolls out of here. But anyways, if you were to spray Aventus and Baccarat on top of each other, it would smell good. But are you getting the full combination of the fullness of what Baccarat is and the fullness of what Creed Aventus is, and then having them mix and layer? The answer is no when you spray them on top of each other. So always put them side by side in a way where they're close enough to go pop off the skin and off the clothes and interact in the air. And what's really nice about that is you kind of do 3 things. You've now created some of the wafting experience being Baccarat, some of the wafting experience being Aventus, and then some of it mixing together. And that way you preserve both fragrances entirely and they can mix naturally. But never layer on top, and never put 2 fragrances in a bottle and mix them up, because you're completely undoing the fragrance. I saw the EDT Blue de Chanel video. You are correct. It's very underrated. I have the EDP. Yes, it's my absolute favorite Chanel next to Allure Homme Sport. I want the EDT now. Me too. Double tapping the screen works now too. You can click the dots to double check though. Hey, double tap the screen, see if that works. Oh, we ran the likes up. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. I guess your words were true. I'm going to try that when I'm in somebody else's live, to double tap now. That's really convenient. Thank you, Copious. Appreciate you joining in, man. Should I buy Cod Lodge Vanilla Dunes? It's good. It's not special. Yeah, I noticed the mod sniping that troll in less than 5 seconds. Yeah, my snipers allow me to be hands-free. Like I could just hit you like that, and I give them that signal, and they just pew pew pew. What would you say, in your opinion, is the best woods note? In which fragrance represents it the best? I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. It's a great question, but I'm underqualified to answer that. Even when I think in my mind like woods, I think vetiver, which technically isn't wood, it's grass, but it can be woody. I think about cedar. I think about oak. I think about oak moss, which is also not wood, but complements wood a lot. I would really have to investigate that and think about fragrances. Some of the woody fragrances that come to my mind is Armani Code, Creed, Aventus, all the different renditions of it, things like Original Vetiver. All the vetiver fragrances that I like have woods in them. Nishane Hassavat, 8 and Bob Egypt. A lot of those are really nice woody fragrances. Chanel Sycamore, Ancre Noir, the entire series, most of Lalique fragrances. There's a lot of great woody fragrances. Woods go really well with vanilla fragrances as well. So I think a lot of, La Male elixirs and, 1 million fragrances and Stronger With You. I mean, every fragrances has woody foundation, but in terms of like what specific woody note I like more than others, really it's vetiver and oak moss, but those aren't woods. They just complement woods and act like woods in a way that I really like. But in terms of actual wood, I'd really have to sit there and think about it and think about if it's good enough to where I can make it out in a fragrance and prefer it over other stuff. But woods is in every fragrance basically. So it's a tough question to wrap your mind around. Lin Sumi is at, what up, Zhao? Good to see you, brother. I was thinking about buying that one today. Beautiful, Carlos. Yeah, I think he held up the Ahmed Al-Maghribi cough, a take on PDM Parsival. Yes, I did hold that up. Cough is a huge compliment getter, as simple as that fragrance is. What would you say? Let's see. Mods are usually always on top of things in here. That's right, and they need to be because I need the help. Lin Sumi is absolutely my reach for the year. Scent, I have 3 more bottles to go through. Dude, have you tried Lin Sumi Force yet, Michael? Or are you just messing with the OG? Have you tried Essence de Blanc? What's your opinion on it as it compares to the other Imagination dupes? Honestly, I've tried quite a few Imagination dupes, not that one. I think Ard Al Zafran's Sahib Intense is the best thing I've smelled out of about 4 or 5 different Imagination renditions, and I honestly don't feel the need to look at other Imagination dupes at this point. I feel like I have the best. I have real Imagination to test that with. I think it's phenomenal. It smells like Imagination. It lasts long. It's unique. So at this point, trying to look at other Imagination clones would make no sense for me because it's like, I'm still not going to recommend it over Ard Al Zafran because it's the cheapest. As these newer Imagination renditions come out, they're still more expensive than what already does the job, you know? It's kind of like when they come out with an Aventus cologne, a lot of times Club de Nuit is pretty on par with it, so it's like, why do you spend more money? Pre-show and collector's edition changed my mind on that. Those are the only higher, more expensive fragrances I'll get, but they come from the same companies that made the best clones prior. So, yeah, there's even some new Imaginations coming out with houses like Arabiat Prestige and stuff, but I just don't feel the need to get into it. I just got a San Lucas Michael Malol. Beautiful. Ajmal Amaze. Yes, that was the name of it. Ajmal Amaze, a clone of something? I don't think so. To me, it's Aventus Cologne and Baccarat in one. Very nice, fresh, everyday wear, but it's fairly dense. You know, it feels like the kind of weight of Sauvage or Eros. You know, it's like a little bit heavy, but fresh. But man, it's cool. The Aventus Cologne / Baccarat style is nice. It's not like true Aventus or Aventus Absolute and Baccarat. It's the Aventus Cologne. So there's just like this sparkling freshness to it, but then it's very fancy, very signature, and I haven't seen a fragrance do that yet. Which Prada Luna Rosa again? Is it the EDT, EDP? You said it's a banger. Now I'm tempted to blind buy it. Prada Luna Rosa Ocean. I believe it's an eau de parfum. I'm pretty certain that this isn't, sorry, I was like looking down on it. Pretty sure this is an eau de parfum. Prada Luna Rosa Ocean. When you talk about all the different aqua or citric-based designer fragrances, you know, this blows them out of the water. You know, your Born in Romas. Not going to say it's better than Valentino Uomo Intense. They're on par. They're equally on par. Any of your Invictuses, any of your Versaces. This is the fragrance where every day you could put this on and feel good about yourself and feel fancy. It does not feel like Nautica Voyage where it's like it's still a good fragrance, but you don't feel like anyone would compliment you. Luna Rosa Ocean will still garner all the compliments. You're not going to smell like super highly signature or something like that, but you're going to smell different. You're going to smell posh, very fresh, a little bit of sweetness. Very nice. Ocean. You know, it's like a sweet candied ocean. I sprayed this on my son earlier today. He's like, Dad, I want to go to sleep in this. Yeah, it's just very nice. Very, very nice. Staple designer fragrance. Blue fragrances that actually perform, that also have solid DNAs, that don't fall under the stereotypical out-of-the-shower fragrances. Casa Marati Mephisto, Casa Marati Gentili Uomo Mephisto, and Blue Talisman. I think he said Prada Luna Rosa Ocean EDP, yes. What do you think about Gris Charnel? You know, I'm on the fence about this because Lattafa Liam Gray makes a beautiful clone of it, and a couple other houses make really great Gris Charnel clones. Even Arabiat Prestige has a Gris Charnel. Honestly, Replica's Jazz Club smells like Gris Charnel, pretty dang close. To me, to really appreciate that DNA long term, again, keyword long term, I feel like you have to get the real thing. Now, the other ones smell really well like it, but it's the type of DNA where it's a special occasion type of DNA because you can't wear it every day. It gets annoying. So, whereas the actual Gris Charnel is a little bit less annoying. Now, with all that being said, if you do go the clone route with Gris Charnel, I do think you're not going to wear it a lot, but it is a beautiful layering scent. My Thanksgiving fragrance, Tom Ford Oud Wood with Gris Charnel, is spectacular. And a lot of people, a lot of my subscribers have told me, man, I tried mixing Oud Wood or Woody Oud and a clone, or Oud Wood and Gris Charnel, or Woody Oud and Liam Gray, and it's phenomenal. So there's a lot of pluses and minuses with that fragrance, but if you buy that fragrance thinking you're going to wear it all the time, the answer is no. It's just too sweet, too floral to really enjoy it unless you live on the East Coast and it's freezing all the time. What do you think about, oh no, Brute 33, okay. Aspen, beautiful. Old Spice, beautiful. Aspen was good when it came out. Aspen's still good, man. I have 2 versions of it. Equus is outstanding. I do think so. I mean, Equus is kind of like one of those things where it's like lemon water. Like, nobody's racing to drink lemon water, but every time you drink some lemon, like a water with a lemon wedge in it or something, it's so refreshing. It's undeniable. No one will ever say like, oh, you gave me lemon water. They'll be like, oh, shoot, this is just a staple, and it always will be. Lemon is always good. So Equus is a fairly simple formulation. You know, it's really just an amber vetiver with a splash of this undertone grapefruit in it. But man, the simplicity of it is what makes it great. Like, you just always can put it on and reliably enjoy the sniffing experience of it. Any cologne recommendations that last up to 5 to 8 hours? Oh my gosh, there's that question is so generic that I'm just going to say Versace Eros EDT. Judith, you can say whatever you want, but your message might get deleted. You might get sniped. So if you want, that's always been so weird to me when somebody goes in a chat and asks me if they can do something. It's like, I call my mom. Can I take a breath? Do you mind if I breathe? Is that okay? Come on. That's normally when you can tell it's a troll, because they're asking something that is so stupid that you know the next thing can only be something more stupid. If you want to layer properly, you're saying to spray different areas. Yes. You want the fullness of whatever fragrance you're spraying. And honestly, you can experiment based off of how loud the fragrance is. Like, if you have 2 quieter fragrances, spray them really close together so they can actually mix. But if I'm spraying Baccarat Rouge and Aventus, those things are projective monsters. So you could actually spray one on each arm, and as you're walking, they just gyrate. You know, they're breakdancing together. So you don't always have to get them like, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? If they got sillage and they got projection, you can kind of left, right, cross hatch them, whatever, or even separate arm them, or do like one of each across the pulse points. One, you know, Aventus, Baccarat Aventus, you know, or the collarbone or behind the neck, you know. And sometimes, a lot of times, like with my layering, I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes my layering, and you guys will see this in my ebook, I'll layer in different ratios. So like, if there's a really strong fragrance and I have an accent fragrance, maybe it's a 2-to-1. Every 2 sprays of this, I'm spraying 1 spray of that. And in that case, sometimes I'll send it right down the middle. So like, let's say I'm doing, what was a fragrance I recently, one of these combos that I invented recently? Terre d'Hermes and Gucci Guilty Elixir. So Terre d'Hermes is the weaker fragrance. So how do I explain this? It really depends. I've played with the different leans, but let's just say hypothetically, I'll send Terre d'Hermes right down the middle, 1, 2, 3. But then on the outsides, I'm hitting 1, 2, 3, 4 with the Gucci Guilty because I want it to be forward with a Terre de Hermes accent. Or let's say you want the Terre de Hermes to feel just as equal, then maybe I'll go minimal on the Gucci and send that down the middle, boom, 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 and then outskirts myself with the Terre de Hermes. So then you have this vanillic musk down the middle, and then you've got this bright green orange citric thing going on around it. And then I might send the rest of it down the back. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do. I mean, also with layering, you can add in lotions. So like one of my favorite, I don't want to say favorite, but I love this combo because you can't really get it with anything else. If I'm messing with Casa Murati Mephisto or Gentili Uomo or Blue Talisman, I love to throw a very basic organic coconut lotion. I'm trying to find it for you guys. Where the heck are my lotions? Oh wait, she's selling Hermes? I gotta turn that freaking auction up. Everyday coconut, very simple formulation, right? It's like 3 ingredients. It's purely coconut made into a lotion. So it's very hygienic for the skin. Coconut does really good on the skin. They don't need to put additives and different stuff in this. It's just natural coconut made into a lotion. So I have this thing that I like. I have this combo that I make called Ocean Water. And you guys better write this down because this is in the ebook, and the ebook's not dropping for quite a few more months. It will drop in 2026, all 5 of them. But for right now, it's not coming out for a while. I'm getting the artwork and everything done to it. But I'll put, and you could do it, Roja Dove says you should spray the fragrance and then let it sit and then put lotion on top of it because that or your oil will seal the fragrance onto your skin. Most people will tell you to do it the opposite. I just believe Roja Dove, so I'm just going to do what Roja says. But I always like experimenting anyway to see if stuff's actually true. So either way you do it in terms of the order, I'll mix this everyday coconut lotion with the Blue Talisman or the Casa Murati Mephisto, and it adds this coconut brightness into the blue DNA. So it tropicalizes the blue scent, and it feels like that ocean water soda from Sonic. So I call it, you know, Ocean Water as my combo, and it's amazing. So I don't know why I brought that up, but it made me think about it. Is ISOE Super a wood? No, it's a synthetic compound. I have Club Dinouis Urban Man Elixir, and it smells good, but it's insanely strong. What other similar ones that are not as strong? Club Dinouis. A lot of people haven't heard of this one. Club Dinouis Man. Club Dinouis Man. No one really talks about this at all. They only talk about Intense Man. Club Dinouis Man is going after a completely different fragrance. So I would recommend that. A lot lighter, but still a nice pungent fragrance. I'm looking for something sweet, but hot and spicy. What can you recommend? Orange Chicken from Panda Express. I'm just kidding. Hot, spicy fragrance. Ferragamo Spicy Leather. Happy New Year. Fragrance Dude, what's going on, brother? Good to see. Hey, listen, Fragrance Dude, if you're still in here, man, my chats are always going so crazy, so sometimes I'm a little bit behind in the chat. But I would love to sit down and talk fragrance, whether that's on or off camera sometime, because I like meeting different people in the community. I've been following your content for a little while, and I love that you resource out to the community and put people on to various deals and prices, and you've been doing it for a little bit. I feel like you've been more active recently, which is dope, but would love to sit and chop with you about fragrances. I know you interviewed Michael. I live pretty much next door to him, so we've got that type of connector point where we both love Day 3 fragrances and have them all. But yeah, love what you do. Keep doing your thing, brother. Great to have you in here. Best Tygar clone would be... the best Tygar clone is not a clone. So a lot of people will point you to like Tarathi Blue and various stuff like that. But I actually think, you know, Tigar sits around the $300 price point, maybe around somewhere between 2 and 3 on its best day. I actually think you don't need to buy a clone to get Tigar, because as good as Tarathi Blue is, every clone I'm about to tell you smashes it. And most people don't even consider these fragrances clones. So to me, what smashes Tigar would be Kajal 3. So that fragrance in discounters at its lowest will run you about 115. So for 115, you get a, do I have that on me? Yeah, Kajal 3. And again, people might come in here and get picky and say it's not Tigar. Fight me in the comments. I really don't care. It's close enough to Tigar. It feels more Tigar-ish than Tigar to me. And it's half to maybe a third of the price. Kajal 3 is fantastic. Another fragrance you can often get cheaper would be Sospiro Vibrato. There's one other fragrance that I fail to recall right now, but honestly, out of all of those, I would pick Kajal 3, but I wouldn't be mad if you pick Sospiro Vibrato, because more people buy Sospiro Vibrato than Kajal, but that's just because of FragCom and hype beasts. Thank you so much, Mike, for or Micah, for sending the I don't know, the 100 bits or jewels. I don't know. It just says Mike sent 100. I don't know 100 of what, but thank you for it, and I really appreciate you sending that gift. What is one popular scent that you just don't vibe with? I'll name a lot of fragrances I don't gel well with. Let me give it a little bit of thought. Green Irish Tweed. Don't prefer it. I don't want to say it's bad, but don't get the hype around Green Irish Tweed. It's a good formulation. It's very versatile. It's very green and nice, but it gets boring fast. Don't know what the hype is about that. Byredo. Almost the entire house, but specifically Bibliothèque, Mojave Ghost, Bond Number 9. I do think Lafayette Street and Greenwich Village is hyped, but those are really good fragrances, and I have both of them because I like them for what they are in the marketplace, and I love layering with those fragrances, but standalones, they get really boring quite easily, along with Greenlee. I do feel Leighton is overhyped. I don't know what it's a good fragrance. It's not special to me. Oh, Side Effect. Really don't care for Side Effect. For women, I could see why it could be a beautiful scent. Why men are so intoxicated by Side Effect, I don't understand. Baccarat, I love it as a layering fragrance and I love it as a fragrance, but for me, I've never said I must have Baccarat, but due to a lot of the internet hype and stuff and the Twitch streamers, a lot of the younger guys wearing Baccarat, and women have a high compliment factor with Baccarat. There's a lot of guys Baccaratting it up, whether they like it or not. Don't understand that. But I mean, I do understand it, but I don't care for Baccarat as a standalone. I'll even wear stuff like Instant Crush, Amorous Extrait, those type of fragrances before Baccarat. Tom Ford, Tobacco Vanille. Just an utter tragedy of a fragrance to me. Sorry, guys. No offense. No, none of that. We don't, we listen and we don't judge in here. What else? Since we're on the record of Tom Ford, any of the ones you see in Sephora, Rose Prick, Vanilla Sex, I prefer Vanille Fatale. Neroli Portofino, it's a staple fragrance, but even the vintage stuff is better. Paragon from Initio, overhyped. Xerjoff Naxos, super overhyped. Tony Iommi Defied, overhyped. Monkey Special, overhyped. Angel Share, overhyped, but I got it. So I can't hate on it too much, but it pisses me off. In terms of designers, I don't get the hype around YSL myself. Even YSL Y. When you look at YSL as a company, you look at L'Homme, La Nuit de L'Homme, Tuxedo, Baby Cat, just so many bangers in front of those, yet those get purchased the most. What other designers? Dylan Blue, most of Mont Blanc. 1 million is, if we're talking designers, is Great Juices. I mean, there isn't a bad 1 million, but if you know about niche at all, you really should never touch a vanilla spice fragrance. There's no need to go back to Club Black for Mercedes-Benz or Azzaro Most Wanted Parfum or Wanted by Night EDP or any of the vanillic spiced fragrances. Even Stronger With You is beautiful as a fragrance as it is. You know, once you have some awareness of niche, it's really not that hard to get a magical vanilla and spice fragrance with a little bit of nuts under it. No pause. Yeah, there's a lot, bro. We'd be here all night. I mean, you guys know me. I have the memory of like an elephant, so I could sit there and give overhyped fragrances all day long. What's a great rose fragrance for a guy? Roja Parfums Taif Oud, Atomic Rose from Initio. Some of the more challenging roses, Oud Satin Mood MFK, Oud Silk Mood MFK. Oh, one of my favorite roses of all time, no freaking question, Whiskey and Rose, Nasamato Baranda. Nasamato Baranda, one of the best rose fragrances ever made to me, and that's saying a lot because you guys know how critical I am of rose. Boadicea the Victorious has some really good ones, but, you know, they're out of reach for most people. What other roses? Roger and Galette's fragrance just called Rose is really beautiful and timeless and vintage. Yeah, try any of those. Found Alt fragrance for 16 bucks at Burlington Crystal Smash. It's a hybrid of BR540 and Lost Cherry. Lost Cherry is another fragrance I think is overhyped. Man, I could name overhyped fragrances all day long. Have you got Arabian parfums? Absolutely, tons of them. Zaharoff Halfeti Rose. There we go, absolutely. Have you tested those, Michael? No, I haven't. Oh, the thing is I grew up around the Michael Jordan fragrances. I'm pretty familiar with all of them except for the gold one everybody talks about, but I grew up where you could go to the 99-cent store and get every Michael Jordan fragrance along with Cool Water, along with, you know, CK1 and stuff like that. Where I lived, you could get that stuff at the dollar store. So grew up with that stuff, basically. Stuff sprays out of the can like a frickin' super soaker. I know this is about cologne, but smells so good, gives off a masculine vibe. It's not fruity. It's like a sharp notes of vanilla. Almost every Billie Eilish fragrance is musk and vanilla. For Gris Charnel cologne, I love Fragrance World's Francisque. Thanks for the recommendation, Joel. I wore Oud Wood from 2009 to 2016, and now I can't go back, but I do love Tuscan Leather. Geet, I will recommend, if you think you've graduated or you've figured out Oud Wood, I highly recommend Tobacco Oud from Tom Ford and and Oud Wood Intense, if you can find it. Lee says, what do you think about Mercedes-Benz line of fragrances? Amazing. Honestly, Mercedes and Bentley have some serious competitors in the marketplace. I mean, Mercedes, I can't draw from instantly because I forget the names. I think Select Night, the blue one, Mercedes-Benz Club Black, Mercedes-Benz OG, Mercedes-Benz Intense. All those are absolute bangers. Bentley, everything from Bentley is good pretty much except for Azure and Silver Lake. Azure is okay. OG, Bentley for Men Intense, Bentley for Men Infinite Rush, Bentley for Men Momentum Unlimited. I mean, there's just so many great offerings for guys our age. I think Lee is around my age. I'm pushing 40. So, yeah, I just think Mercedes and Bentley are great fragrances for grown men. Gucci Guilty I got recently, so dang good. Beautiful, Aaron. My current oud is Barnyard Filth. It's by a house called Maison, and I love it. Hey, let me show you something. Oh, Megamare. I have this Bortnikov right here that I got. It is an Attar pure oil. Pretty expensive. And this is very potent stuff. You want to talk about expensive ouds from Bortnikov. Just look at that juice. That looks like vampire's blood, right? You actually don't apply it with an atomizer. You apply it with a little kind of cotton swab tip. Tabac Doré. It has wild oud from Thailand and Vietnam. And the extraction on it is very intense, but I just want to show you guys this. This is what real oud looks like. 95% of the fragrances you guys try in the department stores are synthetic ouds and agarwood oud and akagala wood and all that jazz. You apply this with a glass rod and you put dots of it on your skin to project fragrances. It's meant to go with the Tabacador fragrance, but you can use it as an accentuator on other fragrances, and it increases longevity, projection, performance, and has some of the most expensive ouds you can put on your skin. And I've made some pretty amazing combos from this. So I'm going to add it to my combos book, knowing that most of you guys will never pay the type of money it would take to get this fragrance or this oil. But it's just to spark your curiosity to see what it would be like. Most of my combos will have clone variations and designer variations and niche variations. So you can try these combos at different price points. But this one is very special. And I do want to put some things in the ebook that you can't make unless you have some money. Don't walk in somewhere. Okay. Is letting a fragrance macerate and mature a real thing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joel. Appreciate you, brother. I'm going to get out of here soon, too, if I can make it to the bottom of this chat. I smelled Chanel Allure Edition Blanche. I'm sorry, but I like L'Homme Sport better. I just can't get the Pledge Cleaner smell away from my conscience. However, everybody around me loved it. Hey, your evaluation is pretty solid. You didn't prefer it. Everybody else preferred it. So some notes to everybody stick out like a sore thumb, you know? And so Lemon Pledge, I can definitely see how you got that, you know? Even like a lemon creamsicle type of thing. It is a designer fragrance, so those compounds are going to be more synthetic, so they might come off more cleanerish. But yeah, totally. I think that's a fair evaluation. I like it, and I get a ton of compliments. You don't like it, and you get compliments. So, but at the end of the day, you have to sit with your fragrance all day. So here's what I can assure you. If you didn't gel well with Edition Blanche, you can sell it and get all of your money back because it's a highly sought after fragrance. Everyday Coconut. So is that like a daily moisturizer? It's just a lotion that has no preservatives and synthetic chemicals in it. It's literally just processed coconut flesh that's made into a lotion. It wears just like lotion. There's nothing in it or anything like that. It's like a very simple ingredient lotion, and that's why I like it, because a lot of these lotions have synthetic chemicals and stuff in it, so it might be sensitive to your skin. It might not gel well with the fragrance, stuff like that. So when I'm putting on oils and lotions, I try to wear stuff that's organic and doesn't have any additives in it. We can't see the bottle, you're shaking it. Well, rewind the tape and then hit pause. Club de Nuit Man, is that more masculine? I believe Club de Nuit Man is a rendition of 1 Million. Would you wear Serge Luton's Churgi on a date? I would wear Serge Luton's Churgi eating breakfast. I would wear it for anything. But yes, a first date, it will be intoxicating. Yeah, I mean, a lot of companies pre-macerate, but there's no real expiration date to maceration. So even when a house says we pre-macerate our bottles, they are they are estimating a time in their mind when the fragrance is most arrived at the end result that the perfumer sought after, and they're sending it out. But truly, no one in perfumery is so skilled at chemistry where they can really properly, concretely estimate maceration end dates. And you'll notice that because a lot of your fragrances will go sour at different times, they'll discolor at different times, they'll get stronger at different times, just various stuff like that. Does Creed Royal Oud even smell like oud to you? No. But oud has many different smells. Sometimes it's so clean you don't notice it. Try Midnight Raspberry from day 3. You'll swear oud's not even in it, and there is truckloads of oud in it. Kajal 3, yes. Green Irish Treat is one of my goats. Hey, I know why it is. It's many people's goat, but it's definitely not my goat. Is Creed Viking underrated or just Aventus without hype? It's definitely not Aventus, but Creed Viking is kind of a fougere dream. Has a nostalgic fougere vibe, but in a super modern way. So it's innovative in the fougere category. So a lot of people don't understand it unless they have a lot of fougere fragrances and have an appreciation for fougères. If you don't really have fougères, know about fougères, and rock a lot of fougères, it's not going to be all that to you. Side Effect Dry Down is amazing. It is amazing. Here's the thing. In perfumery, amazing fragrances are not liked by everybody, right? There are great people in my life that I can't be around because we don't gel. You know, fragrances are the same way. There's many fragrances that I think are great formulations. Everything that I said that I don't like isn't something I don't like because I think the fragrance is bad or lacks balance or anything like that. A lot of those DNAs are very special. I just don't prefer them at all. And to me, the very kind of floral, overly sweet, boozy nature of Side Effect is not something I want to smell like. I don't know, Baron. Sorry. Opinion on Killian's Blue Moon Ginger Dash? It's a great fragrance, especially vodka on the rocks as well, and Angel Share on the rocks. Picked up a 10 ml of Aqua Allegoria Forte Neroli Vetiver. Going to be a great freshie for spring. Leans feminine, but still good. I love it, man. It's radiant. I think once you wear it for a while, you'll feel less feminine in it. I do understand the kind of fig leaf, vanillic nature of that fragrance. Kind of can lean in the direction of like a feminine, freshy, powdery kind of feel. But I think the more you wear it, the less you'll think about the gender aspect of it. Nitro Elixir is fire and smells just like YSL. Beautiful. Would Herod oil fix the performance or ruin balance? I would look that up because if there is a Herod oil, it's probably made to not ruin balance. But make sure you're applying it properly. What do you think of Mercedes-Benz line or Bentley line? Beautiful lines. SpongeBob Cologne is slept on. I would say maybe. Snipers on deck. Have you tried Prisma Amethyst? No. Prisma is City Rhythm's new company after the split, right? Issey Miyake blue one. Nice. Love Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Most people do. My brother's wife just bought Tom Ford Lost Cherry. She loves it. If Aventus dropped today, would it flop? No. I love Brute, but everyone acts like it's repellent. Do you recommend anything that's similar but won't offend people? In that category, you have a couple of options. Try Eva Floor's Whiskey. Try The Baron, and try Tabac. Yeah, my grandpa would probably say the same thing. What fragrance would Rocky Balboa wear when he's not training? Dior Sauvage. EDT. Yes. I don't believe it's called Polo Safari. I believe they refer to this as Ralph Lauren Safari. I know you've put them together in your mind. But yes, got to keep Safari. Staple Fougere. Have you tried Athena fragrances from Egypt? No, I have not. Send those to me, Lee. You've got some good ideas, bro. I want to remember those. I have 35 fragrances, 20 designers, 15 clones. Beautiful. Let's sit some people in timeout for being goofballs. Stronger With You Intensely is my favorite. Beautiful. Is niche becoming mainstream? Yes. What's the best honey fragrance other than Naxos? Wajan and Trace Oros from Day 3. What's your best fresh fragrance? A lot of them, man. Too many to name, Corey. Too many to name. Hundreds of them. If you can compare, talk about Bond number 9, Sutton Place in Lafayette. Two completely different fragrances. Sutton has a very briefcase leather note with a lot of citrus. The opening is absolutely beautiful. The dry down loses a lot of its citrus and it becomes more of a niche leather briefcase type of fragrance. So you kind of have to be an older guy and you have to kind of use it more like a work fragrance if you work more in a semi-formal to formal environment. Other than that, it's a very elegant, serious occasion type of fragrance. It does kind of have a similar approach to Bright Leather from Ferragamo, where it's like this bright, radiant citrus on top of a nice leather backbone. But I find Sutton Place to have a little more of a serious tone, and the citrus is dry out of the fragrance more on Sutton Place, whereas Bright Leather from Ferragamo, the citrus and amber sits on the blonde leather for a lot longer. So I think Sutton Place is definitely a fragrance that not only should you try first, but you definitely put it on your skin and sit with it all day and really just ask yourself, do I have occasions to wear this? Whether it's work or formal or semi-formal, that's the area it sits in. I think it's pretty good. I do wear it from time to time. I don't have enough occasions to wear it. And honestly, I'm in the financial field of business, so I could wear it a lot, but in those fields, I prefer different leathers than Sutton Place. But it is a pretty good fragrance, and it's pretty unique in the marketplace just because it is a slightly... Most leather fragrances are either undetectable, animalic, or fresh, and this kind of sits somewhere between animalic and fresh. Just got a bottle of Oh Fresh discontinued, the only one I like. Nice. Thoughts on Purpose 50? Haven't smelled it in a long time, brother. Have you explored top 5 recent pickups? Quick, please. Love Safari, by the way, thanks to you. Thank you, brother, for trying that out. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I did. I don't want to say top 5 recent pickups because they're recent pickups, so I want to sit with them for a while. Why does Himalaya feel forgotten in Creed's lineup? Because it's weaker than Millesime, it's weaker than Green Irish Tweed, it's weaker than Aventus, it's weaker than Royal Oud, it's weaker than Bois de Portugal, it's weaker than Silver Mountain Water. You know, Virgin Island Water and Himalaya and Arolfa and all those, great fragrances, but they fall down because way more people buy the other ones I just named. So, you know, doesn't mean they're bad, just means that when you're looking at 10 fragrances and you have 6 or 7 that everyone's buying and you like them, then it's hard to get to fragrance 8 and 9 and 10. Have you tried any Frederic Malle fragrances? Yes, I've tried Musk Ravageur. I've tried Portrait of a Lady, obviously. There's a couple other ones that I've tried. Vetiver Extraordinaire. Tried a couple of them. Jeremy gets a lot of backlash for his comment on baptizing the world with a new blood scent fragrance. Thoughts? Yeah, Jeremy's crazy. Take everything that he says with a grain of sand. Is Blue Electrique better than the original and unfairly discontinued? No, but it's great. Maybe a Rocky Wear, the only Brave fragrance shaped as a fist. I don't know what that means. Got a question, bro. My favorite frag, CH Man Privé is discontinued. You know a good sub. Oh, like a alternative fragrance to Carolina Herrera Man. Not off the top of my head. Please, Nick, copy paste that question into my comment section and I'll do some research for you. Should I get Gucci Guilty Elixir de Parfum if I already have Summer Mink? No, you shouldn't. If you bought Summer Mink, you do not need Gucci Guilty Elixir. Go ahead and get Triumph of Bacchus. Thoughts on Blehem Bouquet? I haven't tried it, TJ. Sedley versus Greenlee. Sedley's more versatile. Greenlee's more signature. Thank you for responding. Anytime. There's so many. I do like to layer Office for Men with Armani Code Sport for a fresh fragrance. That's nice. I could see that. Definitely see that. Do you know of any other sweet fragrances that can match Gucci Guilty Elixir, the Kingdom, and all the JPG line designer-wise? A sweet fragrance that can match. Do you mean match it like be as good as or better than, or do you mean match like match the scent profile? Why do oils of musk therapy project more than sprays? Because oils can hold the vanilla and the musk longer. Do you have Le Male Le Parfum? No, the only Jean Paul Gaultier that I prefer is Le Male Elixir. I think all of the other Jean Paul Gaultiers, the clones, are just as good. The Ultra Male clone is just as good as the original. Le Male Le Parfum, Le Beau, Paradise Garden, all those. Any new vintage? No, but I have like 200 vintage fragrances, so I'm kind of off that for right now. But I have a ton of new vintage fragrance reviews coming, so stay tuned for that. There's probably at least 200 vintage fragrances reviews coming out very soon. In fact, I just reviewed 2 vintage fragrances last night. Do you know of any starter fragrance for an everyday type of thing that's not too overused? How old are you, Herb? Give me your age. Sweet fragrance that can be just as good as Gucci Guilty Elixir, the Kingdom, and all the JPG line. Yeah, easily. Valentino Uomo Intense, Dior Homme Parfum 2025, Gentleman Reserve Privé, Gentleman Boisé. Yeah, start with those. You went to Nishane's Sultan Vetiver. I do think it's a really good scent. It's not for me. Sultan Vetiver is a really good scent. It's not for me. I reach for a different vetiver if I want that feel. It's very smoky. Best is Dolce & Gabbana the one. End of discussion. Goodbye. Anything else for me, guys? We've been rocking for about an hour and a half. Any other last minute questions? You like Jean Paul Gaultier? No. I like Le Male Elixir. The other ones are good, but I don't wear them. I don't prefer them. But they are great fragrances, and a lot of people other than me do wear them. Most people that like Jean Paul Gaultier have at least 2 of them. I sampled Graham Soir from MFK, and it might be my favorite amber. Next is Musk Ravageur. Also have Amber Oud, but a little too rose prominent for me. Yeah, I think the juice on that fragrance is red, actually, once it macerates. Other ambers you should definitely get into is Ombre from Santa Maria Novella, Equus from La Lique, Ombre Premier from Javoy, amazing amber. What does my age have to do with anything? the style of fragrance. You know, if a 16-year-old was asking me for a fresh fragrance, I would point him to something different than a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old. Not every fragrance is ageless to me. Hello, I'm new to the fragrance world. How can I differentiate between summer and winter fragrances? Typically heavier fragrances fall into fall, winter, and lighter, but that doesn't have to do with longevity as much. But lighter, airier, crisper fragrances sit around spring, summer. Fall, winter tend to be heavier. Fall, winter tend to be sweeter. Spring, summer tend to be crisper. But you can wear anything any time of year, but generally, like if it's blazing hot outside, you don't want to wear something super sweet or something super dense. And if it's in the cold weather, you might not want to wear something citric, light, airy, crispy, or aquatic because the cold weather, the snow, the elements will destroy the fragrance and it won't last long. So that's a very general open-ended rule of thumb, but I don't want to get specific because it really is one of those situations that despite the rules, everybody's going to wear what they want to wear. Anything else? Have you smelled Penhaligon's Equinox? I haven't, Green. I haven't. Anything close to Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud? Not to my knowledge. There might be something from Javoy that's close, but not off the top of my head. I really do feel like Tobacco Oud is quite unique. Smoky Plum, which is a dupe of discontinued Tom Ford's Plum Japonais, is Athena Fragrance's best dupe. Hey, listen, Lee, you've been spitting some heat tonight, Lee. Copy paste that, man, because Plum Japonais is the truth. Buying it for my grandson who's into this stuff. He's turning 17. Yeah, see, that's helpful, Herbert, because there's certain fresh fragrances that I feel are so mature that it'd be inappropriate for a kid and vice versa. So I always ask age, and sometimes I'll even ask, like, where are you located? Because are you in a place that's cold a lot? Are you in a place that's hot a lot? Certain fragrances won't hold up in certain weather that are fresh. So yeah, if he's turning 17, some great recommendations that he can wear a lot, because generally younger kids don't have a lot of fragrances to choose from, so they need their fragrance to be pretty versatile, you know, whether they're on a date or dressing up or going to a nice dinner with the family or going to school every day, going to the gym. So fragrances like that I would recommend, and you have the ability to rewind this video back if you need to replay what I say. How about this? If you know how to screenshot with your camera, this is always a no-brainer for a 17-year-old. Versace Eros Eau de Toilette. You can get a jumbo 100 ml bottle of this for $35. Extremely affordable. Smells really expensive. In some cases, the most complimented men's fragrance in the designer category. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Another one I would recommend, if not that, Gucci Guilty Elixir de Parfum. This one's a little bit more expensive, probably going to run you closer to that $100 mark, but extremely versatile, great for teenagers. Everyone loves it. Men, women, it's super versatile. Gucci Guilty Elixir. I mean, shoot, here's another really good one. Take a screenshot of this. Prada Luna Rosa Ocean. Extremely diverse for a 17-year-old. He can wear this for any occasion. And the reason why those are super versatile, because they are extremely gentlemanly fresh in a youthful way, and they have a little bit of sweetness, so they can double for like date night or nighttime occasions. But they are also extremely fresh and light and airy, but have incredible performance, so they'll last all day. Any of those three he would absolutely love. And welcome to the channel. Do you like Valentino Born in Roma? Yes, very nice. A lot of young guys, 17 as well, love Valentino Born in Roma for men as well, but I recommend the other three. What's a good spicy floral that's wearable at night? Spicy floral? I might have to look at my collection for a spicy floral. Mont Blanc Presence. This is a spicy floral amber with a kind of minty cooling top. You know, it smells like you just got out of a Bugatti or a Jaguar or something like that. Very nice nighttime scent. It is classified as a spicy floral. Yeah, absolutely, Leon. Anytime. Listen, I know you might hear me ask some stuff or talk about some stuff, and if you're new, you might not understand the jargon we got over here. I'm more than happy to explain it for people who are new here. We're all at various places in fragrance, and I'll be honest with you, most people in fragrance, it's a topic that gets addressed during the holidays and every so couple of years, because fragrances for non-collectors and non-enthusiasts is something where you might have the same 2 or 3 fragrances for years. So going into my world of content creation and talking about all this stuff can be super confusing unless I break stuff down, and we want to grow the community. So we're always going to accommodate people who don't understand stuff. Thanks, Michael, for the recommendation. I like to wear cold fragrances in cold weather, but I'm crazy. Me too. Have you tried Creed Delphinus? If so, do you feel it's too feminine? I do feel it's feminine. Too feminine? I don't know. I think that's very subjective, but if you like it, wear it. Sacrat is good for every day? Absolutely. Lattafa Sacrat might be one of the best clones ever made. It's so versatile, and it's cloning one of my favorite fragrances of all time, Acqua di Gio Profundo, or Profumo, not Profundo. What's a good year-round cologne for a 16-year-old? Valentino Uomo Intense, Valentino Born in Roma, YSL Myself, YSLY, Prada Luna Rosa Ocean, Prada Carbon, Dylan Blue, Versace Mano Fraiche, Versace Eros, the blue bottle, any version, Gucci Guilty Elixir, all those. Any spicy leather fragrance similar to Penhaligon's Halfeti? Let me remind myself the smell of Halfeti. You're not really going to get the rose out of this, but I would point you in 2 directions. Nasamato's Baronda, Baraonda, or if you want a spicy leather that doesn't have rose, then I would point you to spicy leather from Ferragamo. But if you want to maintain the rose profile with the spice, I would highly point you in the direction of Baronda from Nasamato. On discounters, you can get it for about 115 bucks. Don't worry that it's only a 30 ml tiny bottle, because it's an extrait. And honestly, when I wear Baronda, 2 sprays last the entire day. When my son was 17, he really loved Eros Flame. Every young man loves every Eros. Versace Pour Homme as well. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue as well. But I feel like, you know, the oceans and all that stuff I named is more signature. Now, Eros Flame is signature, but Versace Pour Homme kind of falls into that Dylan Blue, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue combo, where those fragrances get old because they're not as fancy. They're more simple, clean, everyday stuff. And normally kids want to have a little more something that stands out and has some I'm here about it. Do you like... I've never, maybe you mean bourbon spice? Haven't smelled that in a long time. Haven't tried Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, but I've heard that it's good for teenagers. Yeah, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit's another good one for teenagers. It's not very sweet though. It leans on the clean, fresh, everyday Prada Carbon style. Most teenagers do want a sweeter fragrance because younger girls like smelling sweet fragrances on men. So generally the teenagers like to lean towards something that's sweet or both fresh and sweet. And Prada Carbon and Mont Blanc Legend Spirit come off very fresh, clean man without any sweetness. And so it works during the day, but doesn't work during the night. It's not intimate enough. And you know, boys, you know, hollering at girls and different stuff like that, they want a sweeter fragrance. You know, that's why if you look at the kids today, they all got Jean Paul Gaultier. They all got 1 million. They all got Paco Rabanne. They all have the entire Eros line. You know, things, they have a lot more, they have the entire Azzaro line. They have a lot more sweet fragrances than simply fresh, non-sweet fragrances. How about that Dior Elixir? A beautiful fragrance. Mind Games Mentor, I'm loving it. I love Mentor as well. Very good fragrance. Just bought Parfums de Marly Layton. Should be a good Wisconsin, good for Wisconsin cold. Absolutely, it's a great cold weather scent. Have you ever tried Montclair Sunrise Pour Homme? Absolutely have, Lee. It's a banger. Absolute banger. Azzaro The Wanted Parfum Intense. Beautiful fragrance. Do you like Burberry London? It's a bit dated for me. It just feels old because, you know, I smelled that fragrance so many years ago. Smelling it now always just takes me back to a place of, you know, it's not a scent that keeps you around for long unless you're not really in the perfume world. Then it does really good. I mean, I know Burberry London still sells today like hotcakes. Same with Burberry Hero. I work at the back of a restaurant, always end up going home smelling like a mix between cooking oil and Arm & Hammer deodorant. Any recommendations? Something super fresh. Terre de Hermes, Eau de Toilette. I would never recommend slamming fragrance on top of cooking oil soaked in your shirt. I'd recommend you take a shower, and once you take a shower, you can put on any fragrance. But if you're just looking for a fragrance to somewhat mask that scent, my wife, you know, 20 years ago worked in the restaurant business, and she used to get off work smelling like all kind of cooking oil. And so what I would recommend is always keep a fresh t-shirt in your car, and that way when you leave work, you put the new fresh t-shirt on. Yeah, your jeans might smell like oil, but it's a lot closer to the ground. Put a fresh tee on, then spray your fragrance, and you could pretty much rock anything. But if you want something fresh and sharp that cuts through all that stuff, I would probably recommend Prada Carbon or Terre de Hermes Eau de Toilette. But put a new shirt on. Don't try to cake that stuff on a greasy shirt. That's disgusting. That's like people who work out with a fragrance on. We're gonna head out soon. Any fragrance related predictions for 2026? The clone game is gonna explode. Is Sedley worth buying? Sedley is one of the nicest fresh fragrances that's extremely versatile. You can literally wear it any season, any reason, any occasion. But after wearing it for like 6 months to a year, it may get boring because it is expensive smelling and it's very fresh, but that's it. So it's a staple everyday wear, but you might get bored of it. Roberto Cavalli, yes, I have a few of those. If I have Mancera Red Tobacco and Boss Bottled Absolute, will they be redundant to have Triumph of Bacchus? A little bit, but Bacchus is very expensive smelling, and that's kind of what you lack with Red Tobacco and Boss Bottled Absolute. They smell really good, but Bacchus is hitting you with that niche, heighten your senses type of vibe. So it's redundant in profile, but not redundant in quality. I have Burberry Brit. Love that one. Yeah, Burberry Brit still sells to this day. What's your opinion on 8 and Bob, the JFK frag? Is the JFK frag the 8 and Bob Pour Homme? The only 8 and Bob that I recall off the top of my head is Egypt, and I absolutely love it. What fragrance has the biggest dent for you so far? Some of the biggest dents from 2025 would be Desert Rain, Trace Oros, Vetiver Sensuel, Aqua Media Forte, Cacharel Pour Homme, Mont Blanc Presence, a lot of clones, Glorious Oud Royal Blanc, Kingdom, Prichot, Celestial, Cough, In the niche category, Absolute Aphrodisiac, Baranda, Ex Nihilo Flor Narcotique, Casamarati Mephisto, Oceania, Roja Dove Herods, Roja Dove Isola Sol, Colonia Pura from Aqua de Parma, and then a lot of vintage stuff I don't feel like naming. Thank you. Great recommendations. I've been changing the shirts, fresh, sharp, product carbon. Yeah, bro, if you have a fresh shirt in the car and you switch shirts and throw on carbon real quick, you could go do anything and they will not know where you work. I was contemplating getting Mind Games Mentor, ended up getting Layton. What are your thoughts on both? They're both great fragrances. I think Mentor is a little bit more elite. It's a much denser, complex, richer fragrance. Richer and complex doesn't always mean better, but I do think Mentor is of a higher vibe check. Like if two cars pulled up and one guy was wearing Mentor and one guy was wearing Layton, it's kind of like the same thing if a guy was wearing Eros and a guy was wearing Sauvage Elixir. The Sauvage Elixir guy is getting the chick and taking her home that night. The Eros guy is the guy she'll call the next day when she wants the nice guy. You know, so Layton, women do love it. You're going to get compliments. But if a guy walks up to you wearing Mentor, she's going home with him. Do you ever get sponsors from fragrance brands that would affect your opinion on the fragrance? No. If I get stuff, it's free and there's no contract in place where I have to do anything. When I get sent fragrances, I am not required to even talk about them. What's the best spring, mild, winter fragrance in your opinion? What's the best spring, mild winter fragrance in your opinion? I don't know about best, but I think you cannot go wrong with Aqua Allegoria Forte Neroli Vetiver. It radiates in the heat and it can hold up against the cold. Does regular room light affect fragrances? No, not at all. I mean, what really affects fragrances is drastic changes in temperature. So if you have a hot room, don't put fragrances in there. If you have a cold room, that actually helps, but typically anything somewhat around 10 degrees of room temperature is totally fine. Lights don't affect that. You know, now granted, do you want lights shining on your fragrance like this all day long? No, but why would you? You know what I'm saying? Turn your lights off. When I turn this camera off, those lights go off. But light doesn't affect fragrance more than temperature. Yes, it is the Port Homme. Oh, gotcha. What fragrance surprised you the most for its price? Like, surprised me in a good way or surprised me in a bad way? Yeah, most people don't know about Mont Blanc Presence, but I mean, you can go to Burlington, Ross, you'll see it sneak on that shelf. And, you know, because everybody talks about Spirit and Blue and all that stuff, you would never know how good Presence is. And one of the reasons I like Presence is it's one of the least synthetic smelling Mont Blancs. You smell Presence and you're like, Mont Blanc made this? And it smells nothing like the Mont Blanc line entirely. And surprisingly, it's the first fragrance ever made from the house. But man, it's so timeless. It smells like it was made yet. Mont Blanc could drop that fragrance tomorrow and you would think it's brand new to the line. I mean, it's just, I will always have a bottle of Presence. And in terms of the marketplace, how it's designed, nothing smells like it. How do you decide what to wear? It's tough. The occasion. But in terms of daily driver fragrances, I wear what I want to feel. Do I need to feel motivated? Do I need to feel confident? Do I need to feel, do I want something therapeutic? Do I want something just fresh and simple? But one of the things that's really helped me, and I know for a lot of you guys, this will seem like super, like, dude, this is still a lot of fragrances. But like, if you look right here, I have significantly more fragrances. But the beautiful thing about this is I do this. When I do that, and turn my collection just into this, it's a lot easier to decide. So once a month, I kind of go to this shelf and put fragrances I would like to wear in that month up here. And that way, and then each day I'll wear one niche fragrance, then I'll wear one designer fragrance, then I'll wear one vintage fragrance, and then I'll wear a clone. And so in my niche, I've got about 10 fragrances to choose from for the week. Keeps it simple. Then when I go to designer, I've got about 10 fragrances to work from there. Then when I go to clones, I've got like 10. So it makes my life very simple. And then each month I'll take a lot of these fragrances out, go back to the library, say, okay, what stuff do I want to pop out in that I haven't been wearing yet? And this library is sorted by niche and designer and vintage and clones and original splashes and historical fragrances. I even have a women's section in there for when my wife or my mom or my sister-in-laws or my nieces come over, they can rent fragrances from me where they can just, I can decant them a 10 ml of anything that they love. Because I also do collect kind of masterclass designer and vintage women's fragrances as well. Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate the kind words, brother. I haven't, Zinc, and let me tell you something. We're going to segue right here because this has nothing to do with fragrance, but I want to ask you guys. I know a lot of people who have watched Stranger Things. I tried to watch the first episode and I just could not get drawn in, but I know it is one of the most watched, most anticipated series that's been developing. Really quick, rate Stranger Things out of 10. And if there's enough high votes for it, I will commit to watching Stranger Things. Because it looks cool on the covers, but I watched the first episode and it just didn't grab me. Is it something that takes a while to develop? I put up frags at the end, beginning of the next season. Okay, so for you, it's like a spring, summer, fall, winter thing? Okay. They're on the shelf according to Fragrantica ratings, high to low. I believe that, Greenlee. I saw your collection, man. And I'm sure you've modified it since I last seen it, but you've got a heck of a collection, man. I totally thought, I don't know who that is, Nate, sorry. Do you layer Fire Your Desire? Oh, do I layer it, and what's a good layer? Yeah, I mean, so my approach to this, right, is Angel Share is cognac, vanilla, praline, cinnamon, right? Like that's the nuts of the fragrance. It's a sweet, vanillic, cognac, cinnamon, and nutty. So spicy, sweet, and nutty. So the first thing I've always thought about Angel Share is it's probably feminine leaning to me. The only thing that really makes that fragrance cut masculine is the cognac. And that's why I don't buy a lot of clones of that DNA, because a lot of them miss the cognac, but the cognac note is enough in Fire Your Desire to make it feel like truly unisex. So the first thing I think about with layering with this is making it masculine as hell. So like I'm thinking of a woody base. Putting a woody base goes well with vanillas and cognacs and stuff like that and gives the fragrance a little more masculine nuts to make it more serious. I really think Angel Share is such a complete fragrance in terms of like note variety. So, you know, you've got the sweet, the booze, the spice, and the vanilla. And the nuttiness. I don't really want to add another note to the top note or heart note because it's already a special type of composition. So the way I would approach layering with Fire Your Desire or real Angel Share is just using a simple fragrance that sits as a base note to the fragrance to accentuate it. So like one of my first grabs would be something like this. This is I always approach layering simple and then try to build around it. Some stuff I'll go crazy, right? So here's a fragrance, either Sycamore from Chanel or Encre Noir a la Extreme, which is basically just resinous firewood. And since I know that wood is in the base of most masculine fragrances, I'm gonna sit that on the bottom. Now again, I'm breaking the rules because I shouldn't be spraying these on top of each other, but this is just to get an idea, and I'll spray it from a distance so I don't get a lot of alcohol on it. The woody resinous nature of Encre Noir All Extreme is so strong that I would probably go 2-to-1 ratio, 2 sprays of Angel Share on 1 spray of Encre Noir All Extreme. Just give it more nuts. And that smells phenomenal. That really does smell phenomenal. So try this. Try 2 sprays, neck and shirt of a woody fragrance that's like primarily just woody, and then put Angel Share around all of that. And I think you get a much more masculine version of that note. You know, you can also double down on the fragrance by maybe doing like more honey, more spices. That's another approach I would do, is like the fragrance is already sweet enough. Let's play with some accents. Do we want to ramp up on spice? Maybe you put spicy leather from Ferragamo on it to spice it out. Maybe you find something more nutty to give it a more of a backbone instead of woods. Maybe you find a lighter, maybe you find a heavier sweet fragrance like a 1 million or an Azzaro or something like that, and you switch the roles where you make Angel Share more of the accent to sit on top of a heavier fragrance to give it like a nice boozy sparkly finish. So maybe a style might be like a 2-to-1 ratio with like 1 million or something, where you do 2 sprays of Angel Share per, or sorry, 2 sprays of 1 million per 1 spray of Angel Share. And the dominating fragrance is going to be the 1 million, but then that is a very heavy, dense, vanillic spice fragrance. And then the Angel Share works more as like a nice, fancy, more sparkly, boozy, top-heavy fragrance to the 1 million. So I would just think through that. But the woody combo, that Encre Noir a la Extreme with that is phenomenal. It really gives it nuts. It puts this smoky, woody, kind of like the same way Aventus Absolute has that smoky wood under it. That is amazing. And to get a richer smell, I might even try oak moss in the base. So like maybe even Hassavat with Angel Share, or 8 and Bob Egypt with Angel Share on top of that might go crazy. Or like Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir with Angel Share on top might do some magical stuff with oak moss. But that is an amazing combo. What fragrance surprised you in a good way for its price? Did you clarify for that, Vinny, like what you meant by that? I've been using Juliet Has a Gun to get better performance on some of my scents missing balls. That's really good, man. A lot of people like to get into, you know, Molecule 1 and stuff like that. You did clarify, Vinny? I didn't see that. I just see what fragrance surprised you in a good way. Oh, in a good way. Okay, you did clarify. In a good way for its price. Oh, like meaning the price wasn't that expensive, and I was like, wow, this punches way above its weight class. A lot of fragrances, dude. Let's go in the designer category. Mont Blanc Presence really surprised me. I don't really like a lot of Mont Blancs. I think they smell cheap and synthetic. So when I smelled Presence, that was like a total breath of fresh air. Changed my whole thoughts about that. Boss Bottled, I'm not a big fan of the whole Boss Bottled set. Like, they smell good, but the Boss fragrances always have, they always smell good. They never smell niche. There's always some kind of stick out synthetic note to me that makes the fragrance always feel like a designer and never really surpass that. But first time I smelled Boss Bottled, the scent Magnetic, that was where I was like, oh shoot, I need to go back and put some respect on Boss's name. The scent Magnetic, that definitely surprised me. What else? Gucci Guilty Elixir. When I'm not a big fan of Gucci Pour Homme, and most of the Gucci metallic fragrances are fragrances I used to wear 20 years ago, so I never really, I was kind of over that. But smelling Gucci Guilty Elixir and Gucci Guilty Elixir Absolute was like, oh no, I'm still going to try Gucci fragrances when they come out, because those were absolutely incredible. Nothing like what was previously released from them, and kind of like, you know, put some new gust under me for interest in those brands. Your Royal Fougere deal, that was a absolute, dude, listen, Greenlee, I wish I could say that was the best deal I got. I got so many crazy deals on expensive stuff, you would crap yourself if you heard some of the deals I got. All right, guys, any last minute questions? My snipers always work hard, but we need my snipers to work hard because it makes a good environment for you guys. Like if you guys just see people spamming in here all the time and not getting spanked on their little 8-year-old butts, you know, you guys would get pissed off pretty quick in here. So snipers are always on deck. Any last minute questions, guys? Yeah, Mont Blanc presents. Any last minute questions, guys, before I head out of here? I hope you guys are having a dope week. I mean, we just came off Christmas. We just hit the New Year's. I just spent a lot of money yesterday on a new fragrance that I'll be showing you guys. I mean, I got so many fragrances coming in. I've got some new niche lines that aren't available to the public yet. I've got some insane stuff, guys, coming out soon. I'm really excited about and really trying to give you guys some hints. But man, this year is going to be crazy. I'm going to completely outdo last year. I've smelled Rave Raheen, but I never wound up buying it. Hey, Lee, appreciate you, bro. Please, if you remember, you know, it's all good if you didn't, but if you remember, throw some of those suggestions in the comment section or message me on IG or something like that, and I'll look into you made a ton of recommendations tonight, so I really appreciate that, and I'd love to look into it in my spare time. Leighton would kill Mentor Supra versus Ferrari in Fast and Furious. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. In no parallel universe would Leighton ever kill Mentor. Ever. Ever. If you can find one influencer with over 50,000 subs to make that claim, I'll give you $100. Take care, Corey. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Corey. I really appreciate it, bro. Have you tried Maison Alhambra fragrances? Yes. Plenty of them. What do you think about Paco Rabanne $1 Million Elixir? I don't recall Paco Rabanne's $1 Million Elixir. I'm more familiar with the Phantoms and stuff like that. Okay, guys. Hey, listen, man. I really appreciate you guys. I always say this every single time. If you guys weren't in here asking questions, I would just turn the camera off. I got so many better things to do in my life, but I always come in here. You guys ask questions, and I see the value that people are looking for in the fragrance space. And so for me, this is like philanthropy. Like, this is a way for me to hang out with people that really support me. And it's also a way for me to give back to the community by helping you guys with all your specific needs. I'm going to have some really insane membership stuff going on this year that's going to allow people that want to support me to get a lot more direct access to me, as well as get a lot of the things that I have coming out later in the year early. And I also have some incredible things that I'm going to allow people to help me to make and be a part of. So I really appreciate you guys jumping in the lives. It really means a lot. Hope you guys have a banging weekend. Hey, we're in the new year. Take a deep breath. Evaluate how your year was. Think about some things you want to focus in on and elevate with. Write it down. Make yourself accountable. But it is also Friday, so rest and celebrate because you made it through 2025. You're still here. So there's always opportunity to go kill it this year. So appreciate you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, I drop 1 to 4 videos on fragrance every single day. So I only ask that you sub, give it a week, see how much content we drop, see if it brings value to you. We cover everything from clone, dupe, inspired, inspiration, independent niche, designer, and vintage. So if you're into any of that stuff at any price point, I've got you covered. I do more fragrance content than anybody in FragCom. I guarantee it. I put money on it. If you could find somebody who drops more content than me, I will tag them in my comments and apologize. So I love you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Have a great weekend.